Thanks for purchasing TuneSentry, the product designed to keep your mission-critical computer up and running even during long periods of unattended operation. TuneSentry uses an Ethernet connection to talk to your computer every few seconds to make sure it's still running. They call it pinging. If no answer is received, TuneSentry will turn off power to your computer, wait a few beats, and then turn it back on. Setting up your TuneSentry box involves interfacing with your local area network. If you're not the person who handles those things at your facility, this would be a good point at which to bring in your IT person so they can assist. Step 1 is to grab a piece of paper and write down the IP address of the computer TuneSentry will be controlling. If you don't know it, check the network settings on the computer or ask your IT department. Also, find out which key on your keyboard can get you into the computer's BIOS during a reboot. On many computers, the delete key will get you there. On some, you must hit an F key or F2 or some other F key. And that's just where we're going to start. We'll check the BIOS to make sure your computer is set up to automatically turn on when power is restored to it. And let me mention at this point that if you need to pause anywhere during this presentation, feel free to do so. It's even a good idea. Pause it, do whatever you need to do, and then continue. So to enter the BIOS, after shutting down your computer normally, turn it back on and immediately start tapping whichever hotkey gets you into your computer's BIOS settings. Find the option in your BIOS menu that pertains to power management. It may be in a menu at the top, or it might be a sub-menu option under Advanced. You'll need to find it based on your particular computer's BIOS. Change the settings so that on power restore, the computer will turn on. Afterwards, go to Save and Exit, which is more often than not available by hitting the F10 key. Sometimes it's a menu option on screen. Let's make doubly sure the settings took. Let your computer boot up normally, then choose the operating system option to shut the computer down. Next, unplug the computer from the wall, and then plug it back in. The computer should boot back up without your having to push the power button on the front of the computer. If it doesn't, double-check your BIOS settings. Make sure this is working right before you continue. Once it is functioning as expected, we're ready to set up TuneSentry. After unboxing the unit, please remove and save the label that's on the outside of the bubble wrap that surrounds your TuneSentry box. Just keep it handy for future reference. Now remove the bubble wrap. And let's get started. Shut down your computer if it's running, and unplug it from the wall. And instead, plug your computer's power cord into the top of the TuneSentry box. Connect the second power cord to the jack on the side of the TuneSentry box, and the other end goes into your power source. After a moment, you'll hear a little beep. A green LED will light up on the side of the box. Connect the RJ45 Ethernet cable into the jack on the side of the box, and plug the other end of that into the router. Note that it must be on the same local area network as your computer. Otherwise, they can't talk to each other. Now, please check your email for a welcome message we sent you. It will include a link you can use to download a little tool for your Windows computer that's called IP-Edit. You can install it on any computer that's on the local area network there as long as it's running Windows. So download it and then double-click on it. Windows should show you a folder window containing the IP-Edit icon. Grab that icon and just drop it on the desktop, and then close the folder window. That's all there is to installing it. Every computer and device on your local area network needs an IP address. So next we're going to find one that's available that we can assign to your TuneSentry device. In the Windows search box, type Command and select the Command Prompt option, and that'll open up this little window. In the Command Prompt window, type ARP space -A and hit Enter. That'll show you the address your network is presently using. You'll notice that all of the IP addresses in the list there start with groups of 3 numbers and then end with a unique number at the end. The first 3 groups of numbers are all the same. That shows that they're all on the same network. And that last number, that's the important one. Now the first one in the list, that is the gateway, usually ends with 1. That's the address of the router itself. Write down the gateway address on a piece of paper and hang on to that paper. We'll be using it. Then look at the rest of the list and note which numbers are being used and which ones are not. Choose one that's not being used and is close to the numbers that you see there. Now, importantly, write that down on your paper as well, indicating that that is going to be your TuneSentry address. Now we can run IP Edit and get that part set up. Go back to the Windows desktop and double-click on the IP Edit icon. In the area on the left, your box should be listed. If it's not, click the Rescan button. Once it is there, click on it on the left to display its properties on the right. Now on the right side, give your box a name. It can be whatever label you'd like, it doesn't matter. Make it something that will remind you of which computer you're controlling with the TuneSentry box. Type in the gateway that you wrote down, as well as the IP address you decided on for the TuneSentry box. And that's it here. Now click Submit. A little pop-up prompt will appear, and it'll ask you whether you want to continue with the IP address you've assigned. It's worded a little strangely, but just click Yes. You're now given the opportunity to log into the TuneSentry box. For the username, type in admin, A-D-M-I-N, all lowercase, and then for the password, it's just 123456778. Then click OK. When you hear a beep, you'll know everything is ready to go. Your TuneSentry box is on the network, and it's ready for a final setup step. Open a web browser and type in the IP address of your TuneSentry box and hit Enter. When asked, again, just put in the same username and password, admin, and 123456778. TuneSentry has now just logged you into itself. Click the Ping option on the left. Feel free to browse the manual if you want to dream up your own settings, but for now, let's use these recommended ones. You can pause the video if you like while you read them off and type them in. Note that the IP address being asked for here is the IP address of your computer. That's the one that we wrote down near the start of this video. Do not put in TuneSentry's IP address, or it'll be pinging itself. Everything else can just be put in exactly as you see it here. One note, if your computer is slow to boot up, increase the number of seconds in the delay after action field there to something more than 60, based on how long it usually takes for you to boot your computer. And if you have Windows, you would be well advised to turn off the instant updates feature, which can really mess things up because TuneSentry won't be able to guess how long it should wait during a boot up before assuming something is wrong. Now click Submit. You should hear another satisfying little beep from TuneSentry telling you the settings have been saved. Assuming your computer is turned on and everything is set up properly, it's easy to test everything out. All you have to do is unplug the network cable where it plugs into the computer. TuneSentry won't be able to talk to the computer at that point. It can't ping it. So after a brief wait, it's going to turn off the power to the computer, wait a couple of beats, and then turn it back on. Since your computer is configured to boot up right after power is restored, it should boot right back up again. Expect 2 beeps when the box is resetting, which normally happens in under a minute. And that's it. If you have any questions or problems, you can email free anytime to the address shown. Phone support is a paid feature at 920-273-0543. Thanks again for ordering TuneSentry, and we hope it works out great for you.